Okay, what's going on? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Open up the chats. Let me see who's in the building. Update attendees. Okay, how's everybody going? Can you guys hear me? If y'all can hear me, drop a one in the chat if you guys can hear me. I want to make sure I'm being heard. I want to give you guys a couple minutes. Okay, kids say yes, you can hear me. Okay, cool. So I am being heard. How's everybody doing today? I'm happy that you guys are able to spend an hour out of y'all Friday to come join my webinar to learn about how to get into real estate with no money down. Octavia, Jackie, what's going on, Jackie? Jermaine, how y'all? Antoine, what's going on, Twan? Yes, I'm excited. Oh my gosh, my dog. Forgive him. Hold on, excuse me for 1 second. Huh? I apologize about that. Okay, all right, well, cool. I just want to give up everybody. I'm gonna give y'all 1 more minute so some more people can enter the room. And we're gonna just go ahead and jump right into it. We only got 60 minutes, and I want to give you guys as much energy and as much good information within this 60 minutes that can actually change our lives. Sherry, hey, what's going on, Sherry? How you? I'm happy that everybody was able to make it. All right, so today I just want to give y'all guys a brief introduction. First, I want to welcome y'all to meet me at the closing table. That's what MMATC stands for. And inside this community, we're all family. Right now, this is my mastermind class. It's wholesaling one-on-one. I'm basically teaching you guys the method that I took, the method that I learned, all the trials and tribulations and errors that I made in order to get to where I'm at today. And even though I'm still a work in progress, I just want to let y'all know everything that I was able to accomplish within this short period of time since being introduced to wholesaling properties. And just to give y'all a brief introduction of what wholesaling is. Wholesaling properties is when you stumble across a vacant house or just a property, period, because it doesn't have to be vacant. It could be land, any piece of property. And what you do, you're basically like a broker. You talk to the seller, you negotiate a price, you put the property under contract. And once you put the property under contract, the contracts that I use, they're all assignable. And assignable contracts, meaning that you have the right to assign your rights to an end buyer. So let's say James has a house he's trying to sell. I know Kevin is interested in buying a house. I go to James, I negotiate a price with James. Me and James agree on a price. I take that house, that contract, not the house, just a piece of paper. I take that piece of paper to James, I think that was the name I just used, and end up and sell him that house, but I put my fee on top of it. So that's pretty much how it works. Okay, so today the 4 steps I'm gonna be teaching you guys is how to find these off-market properties, how to locate the owners, how to put the properties under contract with no money out of pocket. That's the most important part. How to put them under contract with no money out of pocket, and how to close on the property and walk away with a profit. Now, the end goal is for me to help you guys close at least 3 properties by the end of this year. I want everybody to comment the word 3. Just drop the word 3 if you guys are interested in learning how you guys can sell and make profits off of at least 3 properties by the end of this year. We still got time. I mean, this is only the 8th month. We still got time to get busy. Comment. Okay, Toy said 3. Toy's the only one. Kia's 3. Okay, that's right. 3. I like to see the 3s. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to learn. We're here to learn how to get this process started. Okay, now off of each one of these properties, you can make anywhere between 10 to 30,000 per property. No exaggeration. Some properties you can make more off of. Like me, for example, for you guys who do follow me, and look, you follow me on IG and Facebook, you guys know that I just made $40,000 about a week and a half ago off of one property. Less than 30 days, I walked away with a check for $40,000 and I posted it. I want everybody to know that this is absolutely real, no fluff. I did it. You can do it, or you can make, if you decide to hold the properties, you can earn anywhere between $500 to $1,000 of extra income a month. Even if that is at this very moment, you don't have the best credit or a lot of money, you still can get into this. You don't need credit. You don't need money. You don't need a high school diploma. You don't need a college degree. You don't need none of that to get into this. Jackie said, yes, you did. I saw it. See, Jackie saw it. Jackie see the proof. Like I'm doing this in real time, ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to know that y'all can do it too. It's possible. I appreciate you co-signing that, Jackie. I don't want some people thinking, oh, he cap and he ain't make 40, not in less than 30 days. Some people are. But thank you. Okay. And some of these strategies have absolutely created results like this. I'm going to give you guys a couple rundown on a couple of my mentees that I actually work with. This is Jack. A couple months ago, when Jack first got into this, Jack said the only thing he was trying to do was make $70,000 in a year. When he first said 70, I'm like, okay. I didn't want to kind of like discourage him or say, bro, you're thinking too small. But I just wanted him to start putting in the work. And once he starts putting in the work, for him to actually see for himself, like, wow, I was thinking small. And once again, it all goes back to your mindset. Your mindset plays a major part, but we'll get into that. That's a topic for a whole nother discussion. But yeah, Jack, he just wanted to make 70. And within a month, he closed on a $25,000 assignment fee. Within 1 month, he made $25,000, and he was only trying to do 70 within a year. So he was damn near already he was a little over 3/4 of the way there already. Jordan, him and his wife, they've been crushing it. They had I wonder if they closed on that last property right here. Last time I spoke with them, they was about to close on this property where they was about to make $15,000. But before then, they did a $20,000 assignment and another $45,000 assignment fee. Yeah, they're up here crushing it. They're up here in the Baltimore area. They wholesale, and they're about to start investing on this side. Like they trying to get into fix and flips. So, but mind you, these two checks right here, they made this money with no money out of pocket. With these strategies that I'm going to be teaching you guys, they absolutely did it. No money out of pocket. Basically, they just sold a piece of paper, a contract. And if you stick with me to the end of this training, I'm definitely going to give you guys a lot of jewels, a lot of gems within this 60 minutes. I want to make this 60 minutes like one of the best 60 minutes of your life, the most informative 60 minutes of your life that can absolutely change your life. It definitely changed mine, and I'm living proof. Now, I created this right here, right? Because sometimes we need to be brought back to why we do things. Like, what is our motivation behind doing certain things? Now, I created this chart from 1 through 9. Now, I'm going to read through some of these things, but I'm pretty sure you guys can read them yourself. And just drop whichever number resonates the most with you, just drop it in the chat. Whether it be number 1, you're tired of making the same money every year. Number 2, tired of having to tell your kids and your family members no because you can't afford it. I remember I used to have to tell, my kids and family no from time to time. It wasn't a good feeling, but at the time, that's just where I was at in my life. Number 3, tired of living in the same house or apartment that you outgrew a long time ago, but you just can't afford to move. Number 4, tired of seeing people doing the things that you want to do, but you can't afford to do it. You know how you see things, people going places and doing things on social media, and you're like, damn, I want to go there. Or I can't wait till I can get a chance to go there and take that trip. it's not that you hating this, but you just see things. You like, damn, that's something that's on my bucket list that I want to do. And you just can't afford to do it. You just don't have that opportunity to do it. You tired of dreaming and not actually, and you actually want to start living, those things that we all wanted to do. Like, I want to take a cruise. I want to do this. I want to do that. But you just stuck in that hamster wheel because you can't afford to take time off of work. You don't have any more, what is it? PTO? I don't know what it is, but paid overtime. You don't have any more of that left. You just can't figure out a way to make things work for you to where as though you can actually live and just breathe and not have to worry about the day-to-day hustle of trying to make money, so you can keep a roof over your head and keep the lights on. Number 6, tired of not seeing any more than $2,000 in your bank account. Every time you start trying to save, you start trying to get ahead, then something end up happening. I see a lot of 9s in the chat. It's a lot of 3s too. Jackie said 1 through 9. So Jackie, you definitely in the right place. If you 1 through 9, you in the right place on a Friday evening, and I appreciate that. You just tired of seeing the same amount every time you start trying to save. Then something comes up to where as though as soon as you feel like you're starting to get ahead, something just knocks you back down. I've been there. I could definitely relate. Number 7, tired of driving the same car that keeps breaking down. A lot of us, our credit is not up to par, so we can't just jump out there and go grab a new car. The car that we drive is constantly giving us problems. Every 2 or 3 months, something else is wrong with it. We got to take it back to that same mechanic who just told me, we fixed this last problem, you're going to be good. But then when you fix that last problem, next thing a couple of weeks later or a month later, something else is wrong with the car and you got to spend more money. Tired of not getting the full respect you deserve. And when I wrote that, I was talking about from your job. And I wrote that because that personally hit home for me. When I was working, I didn't feel respected at all by my boss. And it was just like, I know I deserve way more than what I'm getting. I just got to figure out how to maneuver to where as though I can actually do what it is that I need to do. Or number 9, you just tired of being tired. You just tired, life just hit you. You just tired of everything, but you can't give up because that's not an option. You try to strategize, you try to figure out another way to make different moves, so something can lighten the burden, but you just can't figure it out. You're just tired of being tired. I see a lot of 9s. There was a lot of 9s in there. And I agree, because when I was in that hamster wheel, I felt the same way. I was just tired. I just wanted a relief. I was just tired of everything. So here it says 7, 9, and 8. I was there. I can actually say I remember having the feeling of each one of these numbers. I felt that way in life once upon a time. Believe it or not, this was me just a few years ago. In 2017, I was actually walking the prison yard with dreams and aspirations of being a personal trainer. That's all I wanted to do when I came home. I just wanted to come home. I wanted to be a personal trainer. I was like, you know what? I love working out. This is just what it is that I want to do. Like, this is me. 2017, this picture right here, I was actually in a halfway house trying to get my license back. My license was suspended and revoked. So being that my license was suspended and revoked, I had a plan like, hey, when I get out of here, first thing I need to do is get mobile. I need to be mobile. Without having a car, your options are limited. Your opportunities are limited. And right here in this picture in 2018, I was working 3 jobs. This is when I actually came home from the halfway house. Doing 7.5 years, going to a halfway house, and then this is me finally back out in society. I was working 3 jobs. This picture, I was driving forklift. I was personal training. She was actually my first client, and I was doing security at a nightclub. I was working 3 jobs, living in the basement. My credit score was a 490. They wouldn't trust me with a library card, y'all. What I'm telling you, so I'm saying all that to say this. I had a goal in mind, and I was determined to just trying to figure it out. I was tired of living that life. I was tired of experiencing those feelings that we just went over 1 through 9. It was like something got to give. I got to make a change. I was spending $500 a month living in the basement, and I was just trying to figure things out. That was my whole mindset. You know, I made so many sacrifices because I wasn't content with my certain situation, and I knew it had to change. Then something happened. What happened was in 2021, me and my girlfriend, we ended up taking a trip to New Orleans. This is right after the pandemic. You see, we had our masks on. She had hers around we had our masks around our neck. And we went to New Orleans. And when we went to New Orleans, a young lady was trying to sell us a timeshare. And of course, she asked, what is our professions, what it is that we do. And when she asked me, I told her that I was, at the time, I had a car dealership. I said, well, I own a used car dealership. So her whole face just brightened up. She said, oh, well, you a hustler. I was like, yeah, yeah, that's what I do. I'm a hustler at heart. And she said, well, have you heard about virtual wholesaling? I said, nah, I haven't. She said, have you heard about wholesaling houses? I said, no. She said, well, let me explain to you what it is. I said, well, sure, be my guest. She says, wholesaling houses is when you actually take a piece of property that you don't own, put it under contract, and sell the contract and make a profit. I was like, what? That just sounds too good to be true. She was like, I'm about to make $50,000 on a deal that me and my sister have coming up this week. I didn't believe it. I was like, what? 50,000? Like, how long did it take? And at the time, I think she was going on like her second month because something happened with the contract and the closing got pushed back. So she was like, yeah, but I just made 15,000 a couple of days ago. And what she actually did, she took her cell phone out, went to her bank account and showed me the deposit. When she showed me the deposit, I'm like, whoa, that's real. You know, people talk, but men lie, women lie, numbers don't. But when for somebody to actually take out their phone, open their bank account and show it to you in real time, that let you know that it was real. And thanks to God, hard work, smart decisions, and execution. Now this is where I'm at in my life. After putting making all those sacrifices and doing what I did, now this is where I'm at this moment. Now, mind you, this is about 2.5 years of me dealing with real estate. From 2.5 years ago to where I'm at now, I was able to make multiple 4, 5, and 6-figure transactions. I'm going to say that again. I was able to make multiple 4, 5, and 6-figure transactions. I was able to give my mother a platinum credit card. And the reason why that meant so much to me was because she used to call me. Jay, can you do this for me? I need help with this. I need help with that. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to do something for you to where as though you don't have to keep calling me every time you need money. And thanks to God, he put me in a position to where as though I could help give back to the person who gave me life, the person who means the most to me. So what I did, I gave her a platinum credit card. I said, look, anytime you need anything, you don't have to call me and ask me for money. You just go get it. I'm going to take care of the bill every month. Hey, I was happy because my phone stopped ringing. So now I could focus on work. But yeah, that meant a lot to me to where as though I could help give back to the person who gave me life. That's just the person that I am. Number 3, I was able to be there for my kids. Whenever they needed me, they call me. I'm able to be there, be able to provide for them. And as a matter of fact, it's ironic because I just had a conversation with my daughter last Tuesday. And she said, Dad, summer's almost over. I want to come see you. And I flew her up. She's literally upstairs right now while I'm doing this webinar. But that's the type of freedom that getting into this type of business allow you to have. She says she wants to come up from South Carolina. Okay, cool. Book a flight. Let's go. Now she's here with me for the weekend. Most important is just being independent and being my own boss and being able to do what I want when I want. I don't have to ask anybody for that paid overtime. I don't have to see if I have any sick days left. I could basically just do what I want when I want. I was able to buy my first house like within 2 years of me getting into this, from living in a basement to graduating from that basement and moving into a couple different apartments. I was able to buy the house, which is actually the house that I'm sitting in right now. And by this house, it is such an eye opener because this house is literally 5, maybe 6 times bigger than the house that I grew up in. Like, this is no facade. Like, this house is over 3,000 square feet, and I actually closed on this property a few months ago using one of the strategies that I'm gonna teach you guys in this webinar. Number 6, my passion is driving motorcycles, riding bikes. So anybody know me, they know I love to ride bikes. I was able to buy 2 of my favorite motorcycles. So anytime I want, I just go to my storage unit, decide which one I want to ride that day, and I'm out. Able to take trips whenever I want. About a week or 2 ago, I was in Texas when I did about 2 weeks ago. It's about 2 weeks now. I was in Texas. I did a webinar while I was out there. Now I'm about to go Atlanta next week for InvestFest. So just to having that freedom to where it's like, I can do what I want. I take trips when I want, go where I want. That means a lot. And now all those are things that this hustle, this real estate thing allowed me to do. And I'm not saying all of this to brag. I'm basically saying all this to let you guys know that it's real and you can do it too. 2.5 years changed my life completely. And now I'm here, I'm just want to share it with you guys. I want to let you guys know that, hey, take action. It can be done. So anybody, after hearing my story and everything that I went to, I want y'all to say it with confidence. Who in here thinks they next? Well, I don't want to say think. Who in here knows that they're next? Who in here knows that they're next? I want you to drop next in the chat. Say, I'm next in the chat. I want you to drop it. And when you drop it, I want you to really mean it. Don't just type that I'm next and just put it in the chat. I want you to actually believe that you're next once you do that. That's the life I want to live. So I hear you can. You definitely can. Everybody can live it. You just have to take action. Jackie's the only one that's next. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's right, Shahir, Kia. That's right. Everybody should be saying they next. Right. Dwayne, Sherry, Jermaine, Andre. That's right. Everybody should be saying they next. Because you basically you took off an hour off your Friday to be here. You know, some of y'all just got paid. You know, it's Friday, it's the weekend, but I appreciate you guys being here. Antoine said they next. Toy said, I'm next. It's manifested. That's right, Toy. Own it. Own it. Brody said he's next. I believe you. I believe all you guys can be next. You just got to take the steps. No days off. Take the steps that you need to take in order to achieve your goal. No days off. Now let's talk stats. I know everybody, like I said earlier, you know, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Let's talk stats. Let's talk facts. We're about to get into some numbers here. I know some of you guys who don't know me, y'all probably like, well, you know, I decided to jump out there and sign up for the webinar. I wanted to see what this guy's about. But some of y'all who don't know me, like still that gray area, like, why should I listen to this guy? All right, I'm about to let you know why you should listen to me. We're going to talk numbers. I was just talking about my two favorite motorcycles that I was able to buy. These are the two of my favorite motorcycles. These are my bikes right here. Both of these motorcycles belong to me. I'm not too big into cars, but this is my thing. This check right here was my first $100,000 check. It was for $123,449.93. This was my first $100,000 check that I've ever received. It was written out to A&R Properties, which is my business. And since then, I had a couple more of them since then. Okay, this right here, I needed to update this one, but my profit and loss for May of this year was $56,750. That was in 1 month. Now, for update that and show y'all what I just did last month, you guys are gonna be amazed. But I'm not here to do that. I'm here to motivate. That's my intention behind this whole thing, to get you guys motivated. And yeah, one thing about me, I'm not big on wisdom. I'm big on theory. You know, you can know something, but if you don't act on what it is that you know, it's useless. It's useless. So we all have to act. We all have to take that step and like, you know what? I'm going to act on what it is that this guy is telling me. These are properties that I actually fixed and flipped. I actually renovated. This is the before. This is the after. This is the before picture. This is the after. These are properties that I actually got my hands on and renovated myself. How I did this, I got into the real estate game with no money out of pocket. Nothing. This is a property right across from Brew River on Germania Circle. It was a duplex. Well, it is a duplex. It was abandoned for 20 years. I contacted the owner. She told me she's willing to sell. I purchased it for $20,500. Where did I get the $20,500 from? I saved that $20,500 from wholesaling houses, from doing those little well, they're not little because it's a win. $2,000, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 assignment checks. I saved my money because I knew I wanted to invest, because I seen how my investors were buying the properties that I was presenting to them. And once they fixed those properties and sold those properties, they was making over $100,000 profit. And I was like, wow, I can't wait till it's my turn. I purchased this property, $20,500, $95,000 in rehab. I know y'all like, damn, I ain't got $95,000. Even if I was to purchase that property for $20,500, where am I gonna get the rehab from? I don't have $95,000. I didn't have $95,000 either, but the bank did. So I went to the bank, got the $95,000 to renovate the property, and boom, sold it for $225,000. I made $109,500 in profit. You see how all of this ties together? All of this ties together. This is the before picture. This is the after picture of another property. I got this property I purchased it for $175,000 of somebody else's money, not mine. We'll get into that later. Renovated it for $80,000, somebody else's money. Sold it for $339,000, profited $84,000. Profited $84,000. This is absolutely doable. Absolutely doable. Everything that I'm showing you guys, this is absolutely doable. I'm here to motivate you guys. Y'all feel motivated by now? Are you guys motivated by now? I want to let y'all know that y'all can do it too. Okay, Enrica says she's next. I believe you. I believe you. Says she's next. That's why I want everybody to be motivated at this point, because y'all can do it too. Okay, so let's get into the meat and the potatoes of this thing, right? Okay, the 4 steps to real estate strategy. Sherry said yes, yes. Jackie said yes. Enrica said yes. All right, look, here go the 4 real estate strategies. This is what I'm about to teach y'all. Okay, find a deal. How do we find a deal? First thing first, in order to find a deal, this is the software that I use. It's called streamingproperties.com. If you guys go to streamingproperties.com, they'll give you a 7-day free trial, and it's $97 a month after the 7 days expire. But if you can't afford the $97 a month, I implore you guys, by the end of this webinar, please just go on there and take advantage of the 7-day free trial and try to do some of these strategies that I'm about to teach you guys. Okay, so first thing we need to do is find a deal. I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you guys how you end up finding deals. Let me share my screen with you guys. Okay, cool. All right, can you guys see my screen? If y'all can see my screen, just drop a 1 in the chat if y'all can see my screen. I'm going to bounce back so I can see if you guys can see it. Can y'all see my screen? Okay, Mike said yes, he can see it. Okay, cool. Okay, this is streaming properties. Now, I used to, before I stumbled across this software, the main way I used to find deals was driving for dollars. Driving for dollars is where you basically literally get in your car, you drive around, and you just look for distressed properties. You write the address down to the distressed property that you found, and then you go back, you skip trace it. Skip tracing is finding the number. Then you get in contact with the seller, and then you start negotiations. But I used to spend days just driving around trying to look for properties until I stumbled across this software. Now, with this software, I could just type in a zip code, and I'm gonna just type in 21801. And I want to see what's going on in the 21801. I'm not gonna put no filters in. I'm just gonna see what's going on in 21801. There we go. Okay, it's 12,837 properties in that zip code, 2,000 in that zip code, 21801. That's more than enough properties for us to find some deals in. If we can't find one deal in a zip code that has 12,837 properties, either we're not trying or we're dragging our feet. But we're not going to do that here. We're going to take action. We're going to find these properties. We're not just going to take this information and sit on it. And because we all know once you sit on information, it becomes useless. So let's go to this. Let's go to back to this zip code. And of course, we're not going to go through each one of these properties individually. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit the filters, and we're going to try to narrow that search bar down. And one of the filters that I like to use is vacant properties. You see how that number just changed from 12,000 to 229. So now what I would do is I will search these 229 properties until I'm able to find a seller that's actually interested in selling the property. Does that make sense so far? If that makes sense and y'all follow me, just say yes. If that makes sense or y'all with me so far, I don't want to leave nobody behind. I want everybody to be on board step by step. So does that make sense? Or are y'all with me so far? Just drop a yes in the chat if y'all with me so far. I don't want to leave nobody behind. I don't want to move too fast. Yes. Okay, cool. So y'all with me so far. So far, in order to find properties, we go to streamingproperties.com. We sign up, we type in a zip code, and then we use the filters. The filters will make that list a lot smaller so we can zone in on the vacant properties. Okay, now once we got the vacant properties, we'll hit this box right here, and once you check it, it'll check all of the properties. Then you can just add it to your list. So now you got a list of properties that's vacant that you can now all you have to do is get in contact with the seller. I'm gonna give you guys one more piece of game, one more filter that I like to use. And that filter is the failed MLS filter. The failed MLS filter. And why do I like to use the failed MLS filter? The reason why is because when for a property to end up on the failed MLS, it means that the property owner is a very motivated seller. He's so motivated to sell that property that he is willing to pay a real estate agent to sell his property for him. That's what failed MLS means. It means that somebody reached out to a realtor and said, hey, I want to sell my house. So now you have a pool. You have 1,019 people that want to sell their house. They've reached out to a real estate agent to sell their house, but for whatever the reason, the real estate agent couldn't sell their house. But that doesn't mean that the people don't want to sell their house. They still want to sell their house. Now they might even take a discount. because now it's been set on the market for more than 6 months, because that's usually the time frame that a realtor will put a property under contract is 6 months. So this house sat on the market for 6 months or more, did not sell, and now it fell out of contract, and now it's on the failed MLS status. So that's one of the strategies that I like to use. Hope you guys is taking notes. I hope you guys are taking notes out there. Okay. Yeah, because I'm giving y'all a game. I'm teaching y'all how to get in the game. Okay, now after you find the property, next thing to do is put the property under contract. That piece of paper that I was telling you, that actually is a legal bonding contract between you and the potential seller, is the contract. The contract, we'll go over that a little later, but I'm going to give you a brief description of the contract. It's basically a legal bonding document that you will get the seller to sign. It basically says, hey, me, Willis Duncan, I am going to purchase this property and or assign, let's not forget that, and or assign this property that I am about to purchase from John for X amount of dollars. That's legal. That's all a contract is. And I have those contracts inside of my community for absolutely free. So for those of you who do, if you do decide that you want to join my community, you want more of this information, they're inside of my community free of charge. But basically, one more time, I just want to go over it because I want everybody to move at the same speed. A contract is basically a legal binding contract between you, the buyer, or assignee, to the seller that you agree to purchase his property for a certain amount of dollars. Okay. Now, after we get the property assigned, next question. Now, how do we find a buyer? How do we know who to sell this house to? Okay, so let's take it back. Let's go back. Our first step was to find the property. I just showed y'all how to find the property using streaming properties. Use streaming properties, use the filters, narrow it down, put the properties under contract. Find the properties. After that, put the properties under contract. Now you got the property under contract. Now you need to figure out, how do I sell this property to a buyer? How do I find somebody to buy the property? Simple. You go back to streaming properties. Remember, we're in this zip code 21801, right? If you look closely up here to these tabs, you have the MLS, pre-foreclosures, auction, bank owned, and then this tab right here says cash buyers. Whoa, that says cash buyers. So once you click on this, it's 1,851 people that buy properties inside of this zip code. Do you guys think y'all gonna have a problem finding a buyer? Do you guys think y'all gonna have a problem finding a buyer in this zip code? It's almost 2,000 cash buyers. So what you do, you reverse engineer the same steps you took to find the seller to find the house and to find the house and the seller is the same way you do to find the buyer. You reverse engineer it. You click this button, you create a list, you get their phone number, you skip trace it, you get their phone number, and then you reach out to the buyer. When you reach out to the buyer, you basically say, hey, Mr. Buyer, I see that you had purchased a house a few months ago in the zip code 21801. Are you interested in another property? They're 9 times out of 10, they're investors. They're cash buyers. Of course, they're interested in more buyers. Of course, they're interested in more properties. You know, it'd be a no-brainer for them to turn it down. They're definitely interested in more properties. So they're going to take that property off your hands. So now we just went through how to find the property, how to put the property under contract, and how to find a buyer. I just gave you guys basically the 3 major components of wholesaling houses. Find the seller, put it under contract, find a buyer. There's one last step, the title company. The title company. This is your best friend, the title company, because the title company, what their job is to do is to run title on a property. For those of you who don't know what running title on a property means, it means you take this contract to the title company. The title company is going to do their due diligence. They're going to make sure it's not any liens, any taxes owed, any water bills, anything negative that's associated with this property. It's the title company's job to find out what's owed on this property. So therefore, by the time the title is transferred, it's a clear and free title. So how do you find a title company? It's simple. Just Google it. Google it. And once you Google title companies, real estate title companies, don't just go to the first one that you see, because all of these title companies aren't wholesaler friendly. So what you want to do, you want to pick up the phone and say, hey, I have an assignment contract. I was interested. I was curious. Are you guys interested in helping me close this deal? A title company that's wholesale friendly is going to say, sure, come on in, bring the contract. We got you. Some of those title companies out there, they're not so wholesale friendly. They're going to say, no, we don't deal with assignment contracts. So once they say no, you just hang up and move on to the next one. But there are title companies out here that love to deal with wholesalers, because they know wholesalers is going to constantly bring them business, because we're constantly looking for deals. Okay. Now, meet me at the closing table. That's the name of the community. Meet me at the closing table. Oh, first and foremost, do anybody have any questions before we move forward? I don't want to leave nobody behind. Any questions? I want to make sure everybody is on board. Sometimes I have a tendency to move fast. Any questions so far? Y'all with me? Okay, Kia says she has a question. What's your question, Kia? What contract is used with the buyer that you find? That's a separate contract. That's a good question. It's another contract called an assignment contract. And I have that contract inside of my community as well. It's two contracts. You have a POSA, which is a purchase of sale agreement. That's the contract between you, the wholesaler, and the seller. Then you have a second contract called an agreement to assign. It's an assignment contract. Basically, it's the contract between you and the buyer. So there's two pieces of paper, two separate contracts that we use, one for the seller and one for the buyer. When we go to turn in the paperwork to the title company, we turn both of those pieces of paper in to the title company. So the title company will have the contract between you and the seller and the contract between you and the buyer. That was a great question. Anybody else have any questions before I move along? Okay, all right, cool. So meet me at the closing table. So meet me at the closing table is basically a community that I put together. I'm gonna come back to you in 1 second, Octavian. Meet me at the closing table is basically a community that I put together. So like-minded individuals such as ourselves, whereas though we'll be able to network, we'll be able to ask questions, we'll be able to get assistance if need be with some of these wholesale deals that we got going on. It's a safe space for us to actually network and to try to build. So that's why I decided to create this, So yeah, this is something that I definitely implore you guys to join if you're interested in moving forward and actually trying to get some deals done. Inside of there, I teach you guys not only how to wholesale. For those of you who are interested in fixing and flipping, I talk about fix and flipping in there. For those of you who talk about rentals, some of y'all want rental properties. I teach you guys how to hold rental properties also. So yeah, it's more than just wholesaling. And I also drop tips on how to repair your credit. I dropped a couple credit hacks inside of the community to talk about how to repair your credit. And for those of you who are interested in becoming a business owner, I teach you how to structure your business also and get funded. Funding, that's another portion, but I am actually teaching all of that inside of the community. Okay, for those of you guys who are interested in joining the community, here's the link. The link is right here. I just dropped it inside of the, one of my guys just dropped it. It's inside of the comment section, inside of the chat. Okay, Octavia said, what if you do not have any money saved to buy the property? You don't need any money to buy the property. Inside of the contracts, inside of my contracts that I have, there is clauses inside of the contract basically stating, hey, if for whatever reason I cannot secure funding for this property, I'm off the hook. If I can't secure funding for this property, I'm off the hook. So you don't never have to worry about having money. The only person that you need to worry about having money is the end buyer who you're selling that contract to. That's it. You don't have to bring no money out of pocket. Like I said, the only money that you would have to put out is for the software. But as far as using money and putting out money for the properties, no dollars out of pocket. My very first property, once I found out about this and I realized that it was true, it was 100% legit. And I kind of drug my feet because I just told you guys the story about when me and my girl went to New Orleans and I first found out about wholesaling. You guys wouldn't believe I didn't actually take action not until a whole year later. It took me almost a year to actually take action. And that's something that I regret because within that year of me actually taking action, so many people were getting in the door. They was getting in the door, you know, and I was like, wow, I started seeing it more and more. And I was like, wow, you know what? I need to jump in. I need to just go ahead and just do it. And I went and I bought a laptop because I didn't have a laptop or a desktop. You know, I didn't have any of that. So what I did, I went and bought a laptop. I locked in for it was about 30 days. Matter of fact, a little less than 30 days. I locked in. I downloaded all the software that I needed, studied the software, learned the software, and I got my first property under contract and I sold it and made $6,000 in my very first month. That's a true story. I can't make this up. My very first month in wholesaling, I made $6,000. Why? Because I put all the distractions to the side. I locked in on the assignment. I knew what the assignment was, and that was to find the seller, Find the seller, get the property under contract, and find a buyer. So when you draw one of the contracts, how long after signing it do you have to give the seller the money? Okay, so she asked, how long do you have to give the seller the money? Okay, now that's negotiable. In my contracts, I usually do 30 days, but inside of the contract, there's a 90-day extension automatically. So that 30 days become 120 days. So you negotiate with the seller. You let them know, hey, I'm interested in your property. I'm willing to purchase this property for the purchase price that we agreed upon, and I can close within 30 days. If he says, okay, cool, there's a clause inside of the contract that automatically extends it an extra 90 days in case you can't find a buyer within that 30. So you're good to go. So basically you got 120 days. You sell the contract to the end buyer. You're not actually buying the property. You're getting it under the contract and selling the contract. You have 30 to 120 days to find the end buyer and sell them the contract. That's 100% true. That's 100% accurate. So that's pretty much how it works. Any other questions? How many of y'all with me so far? Y'all with me? Just say I'm with you. If everything that I said made sense so far, just drop I'm with you in the chat. Just say I'm with you. Yes, sir. Shahir say yes. Just say I'm with you in the chat. For everything I'm said, if y'all still with me, I'm with you. That's right. Okay, somebody's with me. Kia's with me. Shahir's with me. Dwayne, Quincy, Octavia. Okay, I'm glad everybody's with me. I'm glad it made sense. I'm glad I was able to put it together for you guys so you guys can understand that you can absolutely get into wholesaling with no money down. Okay, Jermaine, Jackie, I'm with you. Antoine, Toy. Hey, so what happens if you close and the buyer backs out? Okay, now you can't close if the buyer backs out, because closing is when you actually the exchange of money and deed is exchanged. That's the closing. If the buyer backs out, you can't close on the property. If the buyer backs out, it's your job to find another buyer. But it's been one incident where a buyer had backed out, and it was kind of my fault because I knew the buyer didn't really have, let me put it like this. I knew the buyer was just trying to make money off of the property. So he was trying to wholesale it to somebody else. And being as though that I knew him, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt because I wanted him to make some money also. But as opposed to him just being upfront saying, hey, I got a buyer or I'm trying to wholesale it myself, I just gave him the benefit of the doubt and I said, okay, cool, let's go ahead and run this play. But that turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because when he backed out, the property was now available again. So I just bought the property myself. By this time, I'm established inside of, buying and selling houses. I just went to my hard money lender, got a loan, and purchased the property myself. I put maybe $200 into the property by doing the bathroom floor. I bought the property for $160,000. I cannot make this up. I bought the property for $160,000. Put $200, got the bathroom floor done. That same property, you can look on the MLS right now, is under contract for $241,000. The address is 30915 Johnson Road. You can look it up right now. You will see A&R Property Solutions. The property is under contract for $241,000. And mind you, I was under contract. I bought the property for $160,000 and put $200 into the floor. So you guys can do the math on that. All of that is no money out of pocket. No money out of pocket. I went to the hard money lender to get the money. Now, of course, I got to pay him back his $160,000 with interest, but it's a win-win. Let me rewind in. What if the closing day they start processing, then they don't, if that makes sense? Okay. Now, I want you to understand, when you're dealing with these cash buyers, they're investors. This is something that they do. They're not going to just back out because that's money lost. They look at that as money lost. So they definitely do not want to lose that opportunity to make money on that property. So they're definitely coming to closing. And, I didn't tell you guys, anytime you put the property under contract, I require a $5,000 non-refundable deposit. So on that story where I was just telling you guys where the guy backed out, I made him put, and it was a friend, I made him put $2,500 down, which is non-refundable. So I got to keep that $2,500. I got to keep that $2,500. Usually my deposit is $5,000 non-refundable. So if the seller backs out, you get to keep that that deposit, that $5,000. Okay, Toy said, is it our responsibility to find another buyer, or is going well itself under contract? No, you definitely got to put in the work. You have to find the seller and you have to find the buyer. Kia said, it is absolutely under contract. I'm a realtor here. LOL. That's right. Kia, hey, look, we have a licensed realtor that's licensed in Salisbury, and she's on the chat. She's in the chat. She said it is absolutely under contract. I'm a realtor here. So she just looked that property up that I just told you guys, and she just confirmed everything that I said is legit. Hey, Kia, one more thing. Who's the seller of that property, Kia? I don't know if you're still looking it up on the MLS or in Zillow or wherever you're using, but if you can find out who the seller of that property is, Kia, just let me know. And drop inside of the chat, what is it under contract for? I don't know if it says the price of what it's under for. I'm not sure if the price is there, but let them know. Oh, she says you, right. Hey, I'm just letting you guys know that everything I'm telling you is 100% legit. And we are the time is winding down. I really enjoyed this webinar with you guys. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with me. You know, I know it's Friday. Some of y'all ready to let y'all head down. Y'all ready to relax. But if y'all interested and y'all want to know more about what it is that I do, more about how I can actually put you guys into the game so y'all can do the same thing, join the community. Join the community. The link is inside of the chat. seeyouatclosing.com/community/group/MMATCT. MMATCT is meet me at the closing table. And that's where I hope to see all you guys at one day at the closing table. Thank you so much. Very educational. No, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for spending time with me and coming to learn some of this. I'm telling you, take your freedom back, man. Take your lives back. This stuff absolutely works. This stuff absolutely works. And I say that to say this, man. I did it after doing 7.5 years in prison, coming home to nothing, living in the basement, paying $500 a month, credit score of 490. I was driving a 1998 Pontiac Grand Am, and I was just trying to figure things out. But when I went to New Orleans, that was a very pivotal point in my life because I was introduced to virtual wholesaling. And once I actually my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. I waited a whole year after I received the information to act on it. If I had acted when I was supposed to, my life would be different. Twan said, I appreciate you, man. Hey, I appreciate you, Twan. Thank you for, like I said, spending your Friday evening. Taking an hour out of your Friday to spend with me to learn some of this information that I'm giving out. I'm giving out free game. I'm giving it out. I'm letting you guys know that it's doable. It's doable. And I want y'all to remember, all y'all who commented, I'm next, you got to stand on it. You got to stand on it. Don't just say I'm next because it sounds good or you felt like you was under pressure or you saw other people comment and I'm next and you just didn't. You wanted to be left out. You didn't want to feel left out. So you just commented, I'm next, but you didn't really mean it. You got to stand on it now. You said you're next, so stand on it. I'm giving you guys the opportunity. The link is in the chat. Join the community. Join the community. Oh, and one more thing. The community is $29 a month. That's the price that I'm giving it to you guys. The value is $97 a month. That's the value, $97 a month. But for you guys who joined the webinar, I'm giving it to you for less than $1 a day. That equals out to like 89 cents a day. For you guys to get more of this information, more game, definitely join the community. seeyouatclosing.com/join. It's a $97 value. I'm giving it to you guys because you guys joined the webinar for $29 a month. It's equivalent to 89 cents a day. Invest in yourself and trusting yourself. Trust in your abilities. And let's make it work. Inside the community, if you guys have any other questions, you can always ask them. I'm there for you. I also host Zoom meetings for my community members only twice a month. So you guys get more one-on-one time with me. And I also have the contracts inside of the community. And it's more, I also got credit hacks inside of this. So some of y'all who may need help with y'all credit reports, credit scores, I have credit hacks in there that can remove delinquent payments, inquiries, charge-offs, and late payments. So, hey, thank you guys. The time is almost over.